Yo, still Mills, what's the deal, man? I'm just not getting on the clock. Work beat the fuck out of a nigga today, man. But heading back to drop this truck off and go the fuck home, man. But peep game, man. I wanna address I made a video before stating that I don't think this issue with Bob, Arum, and Bud is an issue of race and racial bias, but more so an inability to market Bud's personality to the masses. That's what I personally think this shit is more solely predicated on Bob just not knowing how to deal with Bud. How are we gonna market this dude and turn him into a pay-per-view attraction? Because they just refuse to let go of this whole pay-per-view moniker. Boxing can't survive in the pay-per-view market because they do too much shady shit. They do too much shady shit. The UFC and all that, they give us the fights that we want when we want them. Boxing is in a space, and they've been in a space really since Manny and Mayweather, that they want to build and 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 build a fight up until they're able to squeeze out as much as they possibly can from it. So we're not going to survive in that market, but they just continue to push the envelope on being, on pay-per-views. So we're not going to turn Bud into that. And I think that's, Bob is he's just incapable of marketing someone of Bud's personality, which I don't think of. It's hard. It'll be hard to market Bud's personality. He's just not. He's not Kawhi Leonard, but he's not no captivating type dude like that to the masses, and he doesn't want to be. And I'm A-okay with that. I think that it's more of that than racism and having a racial bias towards black fighters. Even though he just may, I can't say definitively in this situation that that's what the root of the cause is, man. But one thing that I have been noticing since this thing came out about a week ago, whenever a white man is accused of racism, it's always a plethora of Negros lined up just waiting to get that pat on the head from these white folks to show them in a good light and come out and just be the vanguard for them. George Foreman, Tim Bradley, and Rashida Ali, what in the fuck is wrong with y'all, man? Like, look, this speaks to an issue that that is completely bigger than boxing, man, because they always it's always them house ass niggas, man. And I don't want to call him that. I don't want to call him that, man. But goddamn, man, it's hard to go away from him, man. You dig? Rashida Ali is looking like a mammy in this motherfucker, man. Like, God, it doesn't help y'all case that Tim Bradley and Rashida Ali are in interracial marriages to white people, man. Now, granted, I'm not exempt from that because my wife isn't white, but she's not black either. She's Chicana. But even with me and my own personal experiences, man, I'm not about to sit here and toe a line on behalf of brown people. And I got love for Latinos, a lot of them, until I get to hearing that nigga shit fly out of your mouth. But up until that point, I got love for you, because I realize that you're an oppressed people as well. Maybe not nearly as oppressed as we are, but that's a different topic. But you are most definitely dealing with a system that's stacked against you on your own home soil. So I get it. I get it. And I can't be the dude to champion your cause from you. I refuse to. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it because a lot of the benefits that y'all are getting in the now, we ain't getting none of that. What the fuck? And what the fuck do I look like going to bat on behalf of the Mexicans and the Guatemalans and the Salvadorians who've been ripped from the arms of their families and shipped across the border and kept in cages, man? They're looking to be getting about $500,000 in reparations off of that one act alone. Black folk ain't sharing none of that. We ain't getting in on none of that. We ain't getting in on none of that. And I'm not knocking them for being in a position to get that. I think it's unfair to us, considering what it is that we've been through. Nonetheless, they are also deserving of that, because this is their home soil, and how y'all went about separating them is just completely egregious, man. So I'm not against it whatsoever, but I'm not gonna be a nigga to champion it and speak on it. And nah, I'm not him. I'm not him at all. So even with me being married to, you know, a woman, a mestizo woman, I'm not going to be the dude to champion her struggle, just like I don't expect her to champion my struggle. I don't take her to nothing that's pertaining to, you know, the black community, North Omaha. I don't take her to no events down there. I don't take her to Kwanzaa celebrations. I don't take her to community meetings that I've attended. I don't do any of that. I don't take her to anything that's by and large dealing with the black community. I don't do it, because that's honestly not a place for her. You dig? So me within, that's my personal, but I don't allow my personal to usurp my politics and principles. So when you talk about Rashida and Tim Bradley, it's just a bad look, because it's like, yo, man, why are you that's that shit that, you know, that we thick shit, you dig, that Malcolm X was saying, man. Like, why is it that to get to Bob Arum, you gotta go through us? You dig? It's just not a good look, man. Anytime any athlete, any celebrity, fucking anytime it's a celebrity or whatever, somebody of some sort of high esteem within society, they get accused of this. It's niggas rolling out the red carpet, running to their aid and their defense to give them a shoulder to cry on. What's the bitch name? Gina Rodriguez, the little Puerto Rican chick? When motherfuckers felt some type of way about her talking that nigga shit, she didn't give a fuck about it. She is banging on, oh, it's not just a black issue, it's this and that and the third. She's denigrated black women for speaking up for black actresses. You dig? But she's talked that nigga. She thought she had it like that until motherfuckers started getting on her ass, and then she wanna, I come from, dark skinned parents. Bitch, your parents is not dark skinned. Shut the fuck up. But it's always niggas who go out of their way to just come to the aid of these people who just, after they done did us dirty, they still want to get a pat on the ass from these people. And I'm not even saying Bob Arum. Once again, it's not Bob Arum being racist. I'm not saying, because I don't think it's a case of racism. But it's just the act, bro. Like, god damn, man, God, it's like, it's no integrity. It's no integrity. Oh, Bob Arum ain't never did nothing to me. That's a good white man right there, man. Massive. Come on, man. Like, have some integrity. The least you can say is, I personally didn't experience any sort of racism with Bob Arum. But each and every individual experience is different. You can say something like that. You don't have to come off as this, buck dancing, banjo playing ass nigga, man. Like, no, bro. Like, Rashida, man, like, you think if your pops was still alive, you would sit there and go and just jump to the aid of a Bob Arum like that? No, he wouldn't. He wouldn't do that without a thorough investigation into the facts. Muhammad Ali in the 60s and 70s, as boisterous as he was, he's gonna sit there and just, now Bob Arum. How dare you? Like, come on, man. And it doesn't help y'all case because y'all have white spouses. That's always gonna, motherfuckers is always gonna look at y'all like, oh man, look at he love white people, he love Massey. Look who his wife is. Oh man, she loves Zaddy right there. Look who her husband is. It's always gonna be that. It's always gonna, y'all always gonna look, so just, y'all need to try to give some sort of pushback. I ain't saying divorce your spouses, but show some sort of integrity to your people. Jesus Christ. They don't need every nigga that they brought. The most racist and bigoted white folks are gonna have, they're gonna have some different shades in their in their personal lives, like their friendship and shit like that. People who they've befriended blacks, they've befriended Arabs and Latinos and Indians and they've befriended some of them at one particular point in time of their life. And they may have them within their close personal space. The thing is this, man. They can deal with one. They can deal with one particular colored individual in a sea of white. They can do that. That's comforting to them. That's comforting to them because we out, you know. I don't necessarily have to. They don't necessarily have to hide their ideologies and their bigotry because you're more than likely trying to assimilate into their crowd. So, all right, cool. I'm gonna say my nigga jokes. I'm gonna say my demeaning black jokes, just the worst, most vile shit you can say. And because you eventually get accustomed to that because these are the only people that you're around. You know you want their admiration, so you'll ha and kiki with them. You know, I know this badass yellow phone, just bad, just cold. Beautiful sister, man. Daddy black as night. Daddy black as night, man. And I used to work with Shorty, man. And she, I would listen to her conversate. And with a chick like this, there's no nigga on earth that she couldn't have. There's no nigga on earth that she couldn't have been. There's no man on earth that she couldn't have said, yo, I want him. I want him. And it wasn't just that she was pretty. She was stacked. Immaculate figure, bro. She was bad. And then you see the type dudes that she deal with, man. She dealing with meth heads, my nigga, like decaying teeth, meth, like not even no, it ain't even no fucking no John B. Robin Thicke. What's the dude who one of the football players who got the football player who got a black wife? It's nothing like that. It's nothing like that. Nothing like that whatsoever. She did, you know, just the lowest of the low on the trailer park line. That's the type of dudes that she was dealing with, and she would just viciously shut down any advances of a brother. But she was, you know, she was welcoming the Latinos and anybody else, just not black people. And I remember sitting with her at work. She wouldn't run us down, cut us down too much in front of me, but I would ask her like, "Yo, what is your issue with, like, was your dad not there?" Like, no, I love my dad. My dad was there. I'm like, well, what's your issues with black men? I'm sure, surely you, with a black father, there's no way you could. There's no way you can feel comfortable, you know, berating black men with a present black father. Like, what is the deal? Come to find out, I'll never forget this, man. When she started gaining a conscience at a point in time. She even had a shirt that said slavery. It got the job done. I was like, whoa. But that's just how, you know, just the level of self-hatred that was resonated within her from birth, practically. And she finally took, she had a mental breakdown. And she called me one day and was like, yo, I really need somebody to talk to about this. Because I was getting to a point where I was coming into consciousness. So, with me talking to Shorty, she tells me, yeah, man, like, she went to school in Platt Smith. And, like, these other little, you know, Nebraska's primarily white. Our only sector of black is here within Omaha, Nebraska. We're here within Omaha, Nebraska is on the north side. So she didn't grow up in black spaces. She grew up in white spaces. And in these white spaces, before she even got to the white spaces, her white mom, who sat and laid on and kicked them legs, laid on her back and kicked them legs open for a black man, would sit there and just run down and say the most denigrating shit about black men, and eventually her father. And it caused a rift between her and her dad. A complete rift between her and her dad. And her dad is to the point she started to hate him. And then to further perpetuate that, she's going to school in these white spaces and they doing shit like bringing her cotton on Martin Luther King Day and just any sort of black celebration or holiday. They would bring that shit to her and, you know, and poke fun at it, find a way to and it would be extremely demeaning to her. But she had grown so desensitized to it, due to who it is that raised her. She, you know, that shit carried on into her adulthood. It was comical to her. I remember somebody, you know, she made a status, you know, that was doing something with cotton, and there was all these crackers on there laughing at her. Oh my God, you're so funny, you're so. I'm like, yo, hell no. And I said something on the status, and it was no more white people saying anything after that. Like, I had to shut that shit down. But she eventually got to a point where she had a mental breakdown behind it, bro. Like she had to get her whole psyche deconstructed and rebuilt. So the point is, there's always gonna be the most bigoted and racist white people out there. Always gonna, and some down there, you know, their close and personal companions. They're gonna have people with shade in there, color in there. They are. So you willing out these Negroes in front of the public to come to the aid of Bob Arum as he's being accused of racial bias, you look like a fool. Like, stop letting these niggas use you as a pawn. And once again, I'm not saying that this case is a case of racial bias. I personally think it is a case of not knowing how to deal with buzz, personality, and marketing. But it's the action behind what you niggas is doing. It's the action behind it, man. And they use this play, they use this same play, you know, every time somebody gets accused of this shit. And you niggas look like fools being the dudes to be the vanguard for them. It happens everywhere. It's not just in this situation. It happens just in all sectors of black spaces. When there's an interaction between white people and black people, when the white person is deemed and accused of racism, he goes and digs up all the niggas in the black book that he can get and put. See, they're my friends right here. If I was racist, would I have black friends? Yes. 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 White women love this late, you know, sly black women. That's more intimate than friendship, because you're participating in a ritual that brings forth life. Not everybody you meet you sleep with. So for you to get in a certain space with a certain individual, that's higher than friendship. Y'all swapping fluids. You dig what I'm saying? You are entering into her. You know, you the most important part of your being is intertwining with one another, man. That exceeds friendship by that point. We're participating in an act that we could possibly have a child together. So just because you're a white person with who loves black women, and you got a few black friends, and you love rap music. I was just talking about this shit with Polly Malignaggi. That doesn't necessarily make you one of us, and you don't need to be championed when somebody accuses you of wrongdoing. And they all just, it's niggas who just do this shit, bro. Like, goddamn, like, have some goddamn pride. Y'all ain't been hit to the game yet. These motherfuckers, they're not. Let you just will you out in front of some white folks. Oh man, look, you know, and I'm master. That's a good white man right there. Like, that's just really the signs of a broken people, man. Stockholm syndrome and the whole, it's just pathetic to see. It's the saddest shit to see when Negroes do that shit. That is house nigga vibes right there, man. That is mammy vibes right there. That is, you know, for some man, it is. But George Foreman lived through them times. George Foreman lived through them times, man. He lived through segregation. He was alive in the Jim Crow era. Like, you haven't grasped the game. Rashida, who your father was, you gonna really sit there and let them use you as a pawn? Knowing who your daddy was and everything your daddy stood for, you gonna let them use you as a pawn? Come on, man. Y'all gonna have to do better than this, man. If you gonna come to this man's aid, at least say, yeah, I personally didn't, me personally, but you don't rule it out. Every individual experience is different. That's the least you can say. That's acceptable. That's acceptable, man. God, man, like, blood to me is wrong as two left feet. Not wrong, because if there's genuine racism behind this shit, then he's absolutely and 150% right. I just don't think is being presented properly to the point where you have a valid, it's emotion more so than because I was arguing with one of my, not arguing, but I was having a conversation with one of my guys at work, and we got shut down for like 2 weeks. He's like, oh, they being racist. It's like, no, it's not them being racist. We're fucking up, and we gotta own that. Not everything, you know, because you have a disagreement with white people, that doesn't equate to racism. It doesn't. It doesn't. You can have a disagreement. You can dislike somebody. Y'all can thoroughly hate one another, and it could just solely be they don't like you as an individual. That's where I think the disconnect is at. I just think Bob doesn't know how to market bug. That's where the disconnect is at. I can't market this dude. I've lost money on him. He said some dumb, just completely snake in the grass shit as it pertains to Bud. And I hate him for it. But I have yet to hear anything or see anything that screams racism as it pertains to Bob. I haven't. And that's just me being honest. That doesn't mean I'm not about to defend him. I don't like him to begin with. But when you put that label on somebody, when you put that sticker on somebody, you know, you gotta be able to back that. Gotta be able to back that. And I just want my man to back that shit. But I just don't see him having any sort of tangible evidence to present to back it. And because of that, here we are. So as far as Rashida and George and Tim go, man, y'all, come on. This is what this video is primarily about. Stop being used. Stop being used as pawns, man. Stop being played. Because they're using. There we go. Have to turn my car on. Every time a problem like this presents itself, y'all are the main niggas, front of the line with the, oh man, don't talk about master swag. No, bro, stop letting them use y'all. Do not be puppets for these motherfuckers being accused of something of this insidious. If somebody's being accused of something this insidious, you let them niggas be the one to prove their case. Don't hop in there trying to defend them. Do not be no vanguard for nobody being accused of bigotry and racism. Because you look like a turncoat. And especially when you had a black radical or a daddy. Shit is sickening.